What's good, y'all? Welcome to a late edition of the Onyx Report, Black Masculinist news for the day. Like, share, subscribe, join, and donate. Support the channel if you will. I apologize about the late nature of this one, but I ran across something and I was like, you know what? Let me just go through this real quick because I want to get the brother's thoughts on it. Shout out to Prince Johnny, KJ. What's up? Brandon, what's going on? What's up, Donnie? Simeon? Got Prodigy in here. Artist and MC, what's the word? A few brothers in here. Kay, Justin, Aaron, Queen Kalila. How you doing, lady? Child of Light. Cameron, appreciate that support. He said a PhD tax. Mr. Albert. Yeah, man, this is a real quick hit. I mean, I'm not gonna hold y'all too long, but I'm actually doing this to get more your responses than anything else. Now, brothers have been talking about various ways that, we've seen or suggested or thought about how exactly we might have been set up in different circumstances. And this one was an interesting one. Some of you are probably more familiar with it than me. I don't follow, around a lot of celebrities. I don't know too many of them that deeply. Trey Songz I've heard of. Can't say I've heard a lot of him. I don't necessarily buy a lot of his music. I don't know if I ever have. I don't got anything against the brother. I just don't know him. But there was an article that came out, a little earlier today on blackenterprise.com, and it's entitled, "Woman Claims Attorney Offered Her $200,000 to Lie on Trey Songz to Make Him the Next R. Kelly." I thought that was interesting. I wanted to kind of explore that. So I'm going to read the article to you. Now, I tried to bring it up on my computer, and for some reason, they have some kind of advertisement that I couldn't get off the screen. The only way I could actually open it up was on my phone. And that may just be my system. I don't know what that is. But anyway, it's never happened before. But I figured as long as I get this to y'all, that's all that really matters. Because, if it is true about Trey, then the question stands, who else might it be true about? So it reads, "A woman is coming forward with claims against a lawyer allegedly working to turn Trey Songz into the next R. Kelly. Transcripts from a recent court hearing in Songz' sexual assault lawsuit surfaced and seemingly painted the singer as the victim of an alleged conspiracy. A woman named Mariah Talon testified that she met with Ariel Mitchell in April 2021 and was offered a bribe," TMC reports. Mitchell is the attorney of Jahara Jeffries, the woman suing Songz, accusing the singer of sexually assaulting her at a New Year's Eve party in 2017. Talon claims to have met with Mitchell at a bar in Miami in April 2021 and offered between $100,000 and $200,000 if she agreed to lie and say she witnessed Songz sexually assault Jeffries. Talon also says Mitchell wanted her to claim that Songz assaulted her too, as the attorney allegedly works to make the bottoms-up singer the next R. Kelly, and those are in quotes. Talon also claims that Mitchell smelled like weed during the meeting and was carrying a handgun. Damn. Talon says Mitchell was trying to take her allegations to Song's legal team in hopes of coming to a monetary settlement for her client. The transcript states that if Talon made the false claims, the settlement would be larger. Talon says she turned down the offer and immediately told Song's legal team. She says she wouldn't have accepted the bribe even if the offer was for $10 million. Mitchell denies the claims and says Talon is guilty of perjury. We're highly confident and certain the court will find the witness committed perjury, Mitchell said. Parties are still awaiting the judge's further instructions on how to proceed, given the witness's inconsistent testimony during the hearing. Mitchell's partner, George Vrabeck, withdrew from the case, citing multiple grounds for withdrawal under the Florida rules for professional conduct. Mitchell claims Vrabeck only withdrew because he will be representing me against the parties involved in this disgraceful motion brought by Trey Songz and his representatives. Mitchell and Vrabeck have a history of withdrawing from sexual assault cases. The two lawyers previously withdrew from a $20 million lawsuit against Chris Brown after the singer produced text messages and voicemails from the alleged victims confirming their friendly relationship. You guys remember not long ago, Chris Brown was accused of impropriety, and then it was found he had evidence of texts from the very woman that accused him that they had a pretty okay relationship, a consensual one, most importantly. So this is not the first time just in 2022 that we've seen some questionable accusations in this whole sexual assault context. And especially as it relates to Black men, it's important because evidence becomes key, mainly because I think people are ready to believe and internalize the idea that Black men are, sexually violent, criminalistic, so on and so forth, irrational, you name it. And I think it's important that these cases be brought to light because it's difficult to refute them without some kind of hardcore evidence. I mean, I think Chris Brown right now would be locked up if he didn't have those texts to prove his innocence. I don't think anybody was really ready to believe him or take him seriously when he pointed out that he was innocent, right? As far as being charged with what he was being charged with. And Snoop Dogg recently had a similar incident. I don't know what the current situation with that is. I hadn't heard anything since, but he had been accused of some impropriety and he argued that it was gold digger season. So it's interesting that as the economy seems to be taking a downturn, most particularly for those who are already struggling, the Black community falls in that circle pretty well. We're seeing a number of celebrities and high profile people or high earning people who are dealing with accusations that come out of nowhere and having to fight that. Now, that's, pretty much a constant, most especially when things get difficult, especially in the post-Me Too era. But could it mean that there's also something more going on, especially as it pertains to Black men? Are Black men in a position to be set up more easily than other groups of men? Are people more ready to believe in Black male, villainy more so than other groups? Does it stick more readily? Is a jury more likely to believe it, even if there's no evidence to, confirm that it took place? Well, one thing we do know is when it comes to Black men who've been incarcerated, for those who've been released because there's been evidence that proves their innocence. I want to say, it's about 50% of those released so far have been Black men, not higher. Melee TV, appreciate that support. So whether you're talking about, men who've been falsely accused over the last few decades, whether you're talking about celebrities or those who just have means, right? We're seeing case after case now of people being falsely accused and having the evidence to back that up. Now, I don't know how much the average person could do the same, but I would suggest brothers be very particular these days. Keep your cameras ready. You know what I'm saying? Keep your video, capabilities ready. Keep your audio for that matter. Investigate the laws in your given state as far as how that can be used, but protect yourself at all times. Because it seems like there's a certain season in play, and I don't think Snoop was entirely wrong. I think Black men of all people are probably the most vulnerable group of men. If for no other reason, people are more apt to believe the worst, no matter who it is. So I just want you guys to be ready. And I think, I'd like to hear what some of you might have to say about this, because you might be a little more well aware of Trey Songz than I am. Probably are. I don't know very much about him. But I'm curious to know what you guys think, especially those who've been following this more readily than I have. LAPD SWAT, appreciate the support. He says, "Do you think Kevin Spacey and the other Epstein celeb will be ever brought to justice?" Man, it gets slippery. It gets real slippery. The lighter it gets, I'll put it that way. Um, Personally, I'd be a little surprised. But then, even if it happened and folks went to jail, I want to see, what the sentence is and how long they there. Really, and be able to compare that with, what goes on with others. Because we've seen black men locked up for 40 years behind, an accusation of knocking over a liquor store. Some of these cats, they're lucky to see 6 months. So, I don't know. I'm a little pessimistic as far as that's concerned, but I'm more concerned about this accusation deal. And if it's true, what does it mean, or what might it say about where black men find themselves, whether they be celebrities or everyday cats? Kevin, appreciate that support. He says men have to be careful how they move out here. Real talk. That's real talk. The article was short, blackenterprise.com. I'm going to put the link in the description box, but, hopefully you guys don't have the same trouble I have. I usually like to put the stuff on the screen and read it to you, but I literally had to open it with my phone because I couldn't get past the advertisement to actually read the article. And it wouldn't let you click. The advertisement didn't even work for me to click on it and, let it take me where it wanted to take me. So again, it might be my system, you know, hopefully y'all can get through. But at the end of the day, I think it raises some very interesting questions that we need to be cognizant of at this moment. Because as things get crazier, I want y'all to know, man, it is damn near a sociological fact that as things get more desperate, people tend to get more desperate, and they start taking risks, and they start doing things off the books to deal with reality. It is what it is, right? And we're seeing some things take place economically and financially that are questionable. We know that Black women are the most evicted group, as we've been reading about this last 6 months. Um, you know, we know at the same time that the numbers of Black men that have been homeless are off the charts and hasn't been adequately discussed in the public, at least since 2020. So we're dealing with some ridiculous kind of situations where people are getting more and more desperate. Even on a more casual note, again, I'm getting calls and texts about, hey, big head texts, and how many brothers are getting them again. They hit in waves. They came in 2020. We had some earlier this year, and they seem to be hitting again. It is what it is. But I want you guys to be prepared. I want you to be, ready to share that information with one another. Appreciate that, Donnie. Donnie put a link to the article, I think, in the comment section. Thanks a lot for doing that. And let's be mindful of it. But again, part of the reason I'm really doing this is I'm really interested in reading the comments to see what some of you guys may know about this, what questions you have, what things you're pretty sure about. I'm really wanted to kind of put my feelers out on this one because, again, I don't really follow Trey, so I wanted to know what might not be in the article, and I can always rely on my brothers for providing some of that under the table information. So just really looking forward to finding out from you guys what you think about this and what may be going on, what I don't know about. I told you this would be a real quick hit, but I'm on the push to try and get to 30,000 subs. So I just got to 28, and I appreciate you guys' support. Like, share, and subscribe. Get the word out so we can kind of build the channel up a little bit. And don't forget to comment in the comment section if you have something to add to this. You may know something, or you may have some other articles that we can bring to bear to better understand what's going on. But so far, we're looking at Trey. We're looking at, Chris Brown. We're looking at Snoop Dogg. Of course, we all know about R. Kelly. And even in the R. Kelly case, right, we know he was violated by his sister at a young age, him and his brother. So there are always these other kinds of circumstances that don't seem to be discussed that play a role in this stuff, even when somebody's guilty. But my question is, what if they're innocent? Or what if they're far less guilty than we assume they are? What if there are other circumstances that, seem to get brushed to the side when Black men are put on the sacrificial chopping block, especially if there are other people that need to be going with them? And of course, as was brought up earlier by, what was it, LAPD SWAT 1, what happens when others get away with far worse with almost no blowback? And what? So anyway, just wanted to hit you guys with that. Let me know what you think. Holler back at me. Y'all have a good night. Like I said, I didn't mean to keep y'all up this late, but I appreciate you supporting. 168 people in the box. Hit the like button before you leave. Peace, y'all.